Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you for the opportunity to be here today to talk with you about these important projects. The following presentation is based on the available data regarding the progress of the Amilcar Cabral Submarine Cable project during the 2023 and the 2024. As such, is some parts of the presentation, it may become evident that certain updates are needed. This means that we need to synchronize with SEQS to obtain the most recent informations on stats of these key projects for the region. It's also important to mention that I have not been directly involved in these projects since last February, which has allowed ECOWAS to potentially update the relevant information. Therefore, at the end of this presentation, I will share an email address to which those interested in learning more about the projects can get in direct contact with the ECOWAS for further details or updates. First slide, we have a chosen technical configuration. The chosen sign maximizes the opportunities for regional and onward connectivities. Basic features, one, main trunk from Cape Verde to Liberia, branch segment for Khartoum in the Gambia through BU1, Bissau in Guinea-Bissau, through BU2, Conakry in Conakry, through BU3 to Freetown in Sierra Leone through BU4. Two, planned extension to Dakar and Abidjan, thanks to two BUs, BU0 and BU5, to ensure the competitive terms for onward connectivities. Benefits of configurations offer a standard implementations approach consisting of the main track between the two ends of a system and branches for intermediate landings, minimize failures, and cutting by having the main segment distant from the coast where fishing activities and vessel regularly anchor. Avoid traffic needing to cross multiple jurisdictions before originating and terminating on onward systems in the Cape Verde, Senegal, or Ivory Coast. Feasible, offering flexibility in terms of implementing the system's potential multiple phases. On this slide, technical characteristics of a configuration. The design foresees the 6 fiber pairs and branching unities to accommodate the broad range of demand scenarios. A repeated 3,113 kilometer system with 6 fiber pairs to allow the maximum flexibility in the case of the cable cut on the system. See the diagram below, which fiber pair will have the capacity of the 12 terabits per second, since there will 120 have lined of 10 gigabits per second capacity per fiber. At first, the plan is to have only one fiber per activity, since 12 terabits per second seems to be sufficient to cover the estimated demand for the first several years. A system with 32 repeaters and 6 WSS rod in branching unities. The main trunk between Praia, Cape Verde, and Monrovia, Liberia, will be around of 1,850 kilometers long. 4 branches are planned to be interconnected, to be trunk, thanks to 4 WSS rod and branch unities, I have one example. One of the 410 kilometers to land in Khartoum, Gambia. Another is one of the 20 to 210 kilometers and to land to Freetown in Sierra Leone. Two stub views are already inserted for the future potential branches. One of the 440 kilometers to land in Dakar, Senegal. One of 1,100 kilometers to land in Abidjan have request, as I mentioned, see diagram to more details. This slide show you about Capex budget of the Amilcar Cabral Cable system. The expected Capex requirement is between 91 million and $121 million for the full system, but can be phased. For example, the item marine operations is the 14.4 million. The original case, Amilcar Cabral prior to Monrovia, 6 pair, a new landing. For extension, original case plus station to Dakar, for example, is the 16 million. Another example, the original case station to Abidjan, we have $17.8 million, and the original bus, the original Dakar in Abidjan is $19.4 million. The total cost for the item, this you have an item. Let me give you another example. The project management support and training is $3.8 million in original case. The original case prior to Monrovia. The original case plus station Dakar to Abidjan is we have $5.0 million. It means the total minimum is the $91.3 million, and the maximum the $121.3 million. It's important to note that the figures are based on preliminary discussion as of in 2020-2022, on top of which a final negotiated discount of the 20% has been applied, which is consistent with the industry practices. It is expected that the figures will be different from what price will ultimately be contracted for in middle 2024, according to a roadmap, assuming the procurement begins at the end of 2023. Like I mentioned, we need to update the last information from ECOWAS. High-level Capex budget for the one of two phase, one variants, phase 1A linking Cape Verde to Guinea, Conakry, with one branch to Gambia through BU1 and one branch to Guinea-Bissau through BU2, plus two stub BUs. The BU0 for Dakar and BU3 for the South Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Abidjan. It's cost $62.7 million. The phase B, linking to Cape Verde to Abidjan, with branch to the Gambia, Guinea, and Guinea-Bissau, the cost is $94 million. The next three slides will show you the proposed institutional structure, the summary of the optimal Amilcar Cabral institutional design to achieve the viability, success, and sustainability. One, the optimal condition for attracting the owner support, the private sector participation in the ownership and governance, non-discriminatory open access with the cost-based the pricing, the funding injection at the national level via sovereigns. Two, the optimal conditions for attracting private sector network operator participation, enabling national level participation, structuring private investment in exchange for capacity rather than dividends, passing through concessionary donors, financing benefits. On the three, the optimal condition for achieve the regulatory and tax efficiencies. Only incorporate system-wide consortium and the locally national SPV. Synthesizing these conditions established parameters that define an optimal institutional design with two layers. One, incorporation national SPV, formed to cost-sharing cooperatives to serve as anchor consortium members and the local lending parties. And two, the system-wide contractual consortium. Additional consortium members that are not associated with any particular participating country may also admit opportunistically, but are not necessary elements of optimal design. Depiction of recommended system-wide institutional design. The figure institutional design layer one, the national SPV, donors funding, member governments, and minority investment, or SPV, service provider, one leading for capacity investment, investment technical know-how, financial and commercial expertise, the Fusion XPV as the leading party for cable, owner of assets with a national territory, consortium member of cable capacity provider in home markets to both service providers and consortium members. The figure, institutional design layer 2, the unincorporated consortium, give you example for SPV Gambia, SPV Sierra Leone, XPV Liberia, is the Cabo Verde landing port, the Côte d'Ivoire landing port, or Ivory Coast port, this is in French language, Senegal landing port, order data center, content owner, international operators. Unincorporated consortium is a owner of assets in international waters, provide or right of use of international assets to all consortium members, help to member decision-making committees for the system-wide issues. The last slide about proposed institutional structure. We have a feasibility study. After approve the provisional cable system design and institutional design, engage formally with donors to seek financing based on memorandum of understanding and the feasibility study, identify existing SPV for new SPV in each participation country, engage the private sector members of existing SPVs or potential private sector members of a new SPV. Is the phase one, the national government playing key roles, the ECOWAS coordination, and the external consultant as necessary. To continue development, continue to phase two, the develop, negotiate, and sign a consortium level, the memorandum of understanding among all SPVs. The established consortium's management committee has a decision-make body, develop the negotiated and signs SPV level MOU, or memorandum of understanding, for each SPV. Establish SPV level governance bodies for each SPV. The development, negotiate, and sign lending party agreements in Côte d'Ivoire or Ivory Coast and Senegal. This is the phase two. The management committee to takes over lead the external phase. of the project's technical lead. ECOWAS continues to coordinate member state activities, external consultants as necessary. To continue the progress donor financing to commitment stage, the initiative procurement process for submarine cable, develop, negotiate, and execute consortium level C and EMEA, develop, negotiate, and sign SPV level shareholder agreements, develop and negotiate and execute lending party agreements for Cote d'Ivoire and Senegal, or Ivory Coast and Senegal. To continue, sign supply contract for submarine cable, sign works contract for cable landing station, system construction testing and acceptance, system ready for service, and the system operation 25 more or less years. Phase 3 is a permanent decision-making bodies established within C and MEA. The process flow for the project sponsors a good starting view so they can estimate likely major milestones and the sequence the period covered by the orange shaded elements is likely to take about 2 years. The commercial consideration projected international connectivity demand has a likely to total 1.4 terabits per second in 2025, rising to over the 500 terabits per second by 2049. There is also a reasonable estimate for baseline market share. Estimate of international capacity demand in the participation mainland countries, as I show in the chat. Total international bandwidth demand, the LHCS in the terabit per second for Amilcar Cabral cable, and its market share, the RHS percent. More information about commercial consideration. We have the customer type, example, and the demand interested. One, license in ICE depend countries. Example, Orange up coast, the MTN up coast, and order MNUs and ISPV. Demand interest, extremely interested in having cable for redundancy in the short term, in the medium, in the long term, likely to replace ICE as a primary route. The regional player providing onward connectivities. Example, CVT, the Cape Verde Telecom, Sonatel, the MTN Global Orange Group. Demand interested in the short and the medium terms, negligible interest, and are supplying onboard connectivities. The international players seeking wholesale business in ICE depend or content provision. Example, Google, Facebook, and Dolphin. The negligible have made investment in larger markets with will meet regional demand for civil future. This slide show about financial feasibility result. While the project is expected to be viable, financing and phasing will be key to be financial outcome. The project IRRs are positive. The NPV is calculated at discount rate of the 8.2%. The break-even years is the sum across all scenarios, and payback period varies between 12 and 13 years, assuming Capex spend begins in 2024. It means we currently is 2025. Like I said, we need to update this information close to PPDU from ECOWAS. The Capex expressed variably as a price cost per fiber pair. peak funding requirement or total capex rises with the expensiveness of the configuration. This slide shows the timeline to read for services, taking in consideration of the mentioned risk and potential mitigation. The following timeline shows it would be possible to have the Amilcar Cabral Cable app and running in 2 years. We have the work streams, the activities, and there's the phases, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. For example, in work stream, we have technical activities, the financial activities, regulatory activities, and the institutional activities. Okay, responsibilities. The work stream, we have technical activities, financial, regulatory, and institutional activities. About responsible stakeholders, we have ECOWAS coordination, member states, private sectors, SPV, donors, consortium, and cable vendors. So important here is ECOWAS is envisaged in having the coordination roll up until the establishment of the unincorporated consortium is established. This would conclude acting as an informational resource, deadline, disciplinary, and to be extend possible source of technical assistance for member states. That's it. Thank you very much for your attention. As I mentioned at the beginning, I am no longer involved in this of this project. Therefore, anyone interested in obtaining further information may do so directly by email by contacting the director of PPDO. PPDO is the special project for ECOWAS, whose contact details are provided on this final site. Thank you very much for your attention.